Okay, so we've got the last few remaining bits of the bonnet to paint now. Tig's just hung them up like this. It's the only way that we can think to do them, because it's just lots of little intricate pieces, as you can see, and it's never easy to paint things like this. Obviously we need to get to both sides, but yeah, it should work really well like this. Actually, should be able to get to both sides quite nicely. So, get these painted, and then tomorrow, reassemble all the bonnet. Yep. That's it?
Yeah. Am I doing that?
Yes, yeah. The bonnet is back on the car at the moment. We spent a lot of time, as you might have seen in the previous clips, trying to make sure that everything was gapped up correctly. We have had the front bumper back on. I forgot actually to take a video of that, but I think I've got a photo. We had the front bumper back on. One of you guys kindly suggested in the comments to make sure that that does fit because they move around and stuff. We did that, and then we tightened up the bracket bolts from the back as well when we were happy with all the fit. So yeah, as far as we're concerned, everything lines up exactly how it should now, in terms of the front end of the car, as it were, and obviously these top sections. We've made sure that all chrome pieces fit back in there nicely and the washers are in the right place. Give you one quick look at it. We have got, I'd say, 90% of the bolts in place now. There we are. Personally speaking, I think actually it looks really good with these silver bolts, but that's not how it's meant to be, so we will be painting it. I've got to repaint it again in any case, because there's a few areas which do need a bit of touching up work. There's a few areas which haven't quite gone as smoothly as they could have, because as I said previously, we knew that we were going to be repainting this one anyway, so yeah, a couple of bits that I still need to rework, as it were, but night and day difference to how it was previously. I'm actually really pleased with how this has come out. You'll remember as well, all this section here is a bit of a shame really, but it is going to be going into Cobra just because it's a completely exposed section with the wheel there. So we'll Cobra that. Just this inside section here, I think. But that's later on down the line. For now, that's how we've got things. Just working on the alignment now on the rear end. Give me 2 seconds, I'll show you where we've got to. Fiddling around with these bonnet shims. There's a lot of shimming work to be done to make sure that these bonnets align properly. But this is where we're at so far. Scuttle line is nice. Tightens up a little bit here at the moment, but it's mostly quite nice. I've got a nice gap along the bottom there as well. And the main thing, as you guys will remember from previously, we've sorted out this issue here. In doing that, we have got the same issue now around the other side, but we haven't started the other side yet, so that's all fine. It's all doable. Obviously, this is nowhere near final finish. This is just a rough fit for now. We've got a lot more gapping work still to do with the hinges first before we go into the body filler side of things. These were lead loaded here in this section, as you remember as well, from a long time ago now. But yeah, for the most part, we're actually really pleased with that. We've still got gapping work to do on the doors, get the rubbers back in there, get the doors gapped again before the filling side. We're getting there. I'll show you the other side quickly as well. Almost don't want to because it's pretty bad over this way at the moment. So, same sort of issue here as we had previously on that side actually, but again, like I said, it's not a problem because we haven't actually started gapping this side yet, so we know what to do. It's just hours of fiddly work to get these the right gapping. That's what we're working on now though. Okay, we're just playing around with the shims. So we've put a larger shim in at the front to space this gap out, and as you can see, it spaced it out a little bit too much. Obviously on these as well, every time you change something on this side, it changes over the other side too, so it's a bit back and forth. But we're going to take that shim back out now and put a half shim in there to hopefully make this gap a little bit smaller, and then we'll start working on this gap again. It's getting there. That's where I'm going to leave it for now on this side of things. Tig's gone home, unfortunately, so it's just a bit too much work for one person to do the gapping. We need to lift the shims and lift the bonnet at the front end, then we need to simultaneously close all the catches and move them around. There's almost an infinite amount of adjustment with these. All of the catches, all of the locating pins, all of that, they move up, down, side to side. So yeah, it's a lot of work just to get one thing back into the place that you want it to be. But anyway, we'll leave that for now until Tig comes in next week. Got plenty of other things I need to be getting on with, so we can start the filling work, or sanding the filling work. I can start smoothing out this front end as well. So you'll remember previously, this is actually welded at the top. It's just tack welded at the top, and then all of this was originally lead loaded. Obviously we're going to be using modern day techniques for that now, so we will be going in there with a fiber fill. Get a bit of that work done. and go from there, really. Guys, I think that's where I'm going to leave this week's video then. So I've just started doing the rough fill on the front end, as you can see. We've gone on with two different types of fiberglass. So the coarse strand gets used first, which is the lighter colour. Over the top of that then with a fibre micro, which is a much more easily spreadable fiberglass. Still got all the structural integrity, but it's just easier to spread it. We will do a couple of little sections like this again with that. And then it will just be a skim of the normal filler then over the top. So most of the structure is replaced with the fiberglass, of course, and then the normal filler is just used as a kind of almost as a glaze. It's just going to be the tiniest amount over the top there to just get the shape back into how we want it. Likewise with the rear course, so we've just started blocking this down now. You can see how much filler we've removed. But there was just lots and lots, it's going back some time now, but there's lots and lots of very, very small little ripples and dings. So there's no point in trying to spot fill them because you just end up with lots of little areas all over the car after the job was done then. It's just better to skim the entire area, sand it all off then. Directly hit metal as always, we stop sanding. Metal doesn't sand, filler obviously does sand, so if we just kept on going, that would just get lower and lower, and you'd end up with waves and ripples all the way down the side of the car. So yeah, quite nice cars to work with these actually, because they are so contoured and flowing. Nice cars to sand actually. But yeah, I just wanted to make the point, you can see how much filler we remove. barely anything left on there at all now. 1/2 mil, not even 1/2 mil, I don't think. Really, really tiny amount. Again, you can see the transition and the epoxy coming through the bottom there. Next stage for this, once we've done all of this, it'll be going back into another isolator layer of epoxy to reinstate the corrosion protection on areas where we've missed it, but that'll be over the entire car. And then it goes into our sprayable filler as the next stage after that. It's coming along quite nicely. As always then guys, I think this video is actually a little bit shorter than usual, so apologies if it is. We've just spent most of the week doing that bonnet, as you can see, but it's coming along. I'll catch all of you guys next week.